Hey guys, Tyrope here, bringing you a 1v1 today. We are on Mill Road. Today spawning on the left, we have Skadi playing as OKW, going for Luftwaffe Ground Forces, Overwatch and Grand Offensive. On the other side we have nmsl as US Forces with Airborne, Recon Support and Urban Assault. In terms of rankings, Skadi around 110, NM around 70. So Greyhound coming in close here. You see one re-echelon model was kind of off to the side, which I imagine meant the Kubel wasn't like spreading its damage around. So maybe it wasn't actually doing its wasn't firing to its full potential there, and eventually forced away by the second squad arriving, the riflemen. Try to push onto the cutoff here, sitting behind the heavy cover for the moment. Wagon still contributing from out the back. It's a good situation for Skadi, but we do have a rifleman wrapping around. We'll get it on the rear runner, maybe look for the kill on the Kubel. Kubel reacting though pretty quickly to that. And getting away to the north. Meanwhile, the squad does manage the decap on the cutoff. Very fast reactions with that Kubel spotting there. I don't think the riflemen ran through that sector to reveal themselves. Eventually did get a third squad of infantry for Skadi. Sternpies are getting chopped up here fast. 3 rifleman squad, even behind the light cover. Not doing too well, and considering going in for the chase, I think I probably would have gone for it as NM. I think it would have been a wipe if he went for a bit of run and gun. Probably would have had to, you know, net lose territory. But, you know, it's going to work out in the long run, wiping a sternpie like that in these early stages. In the next few minutes, even if you might lose territory in the next minute or so. And went for a 4th squad. You don't see this too often when combined with the Kubel. Oftentimes, you know, a player, if they're going for a Kubel and 3 squads, then they'll maybe look for a squad of elite infantry, maybe some Fallschirmjäger. Try stall until then. Means that the tech is going to be delayed, but Skadi has gone for some med crates to compensate for that, which makes sense.
We're ready to move.
So he's going to leave the squad back here healing as well. Maybe try to milk a bit more value out of the heal crates.
Grenadiers ready. Work completed.
Kawaii going to pair back up. But we are at the stage where, you know, US light vehicles maybe could be arriving. Maybe could be an M20, not too far off. And there we go, it's in production now for NM. Okay, got some sandbags up. Interesting. I feel like still might be relatively valuable for NM. I think he could utilize those a little bit. Sternpies running across here, looking for a flank perhaps. Still a 3-on-3 initially. Sternpies coming around the corner. Getting behind the light cover. Doing alright, but riflemen are pretty good at this range. And the Thompson model refuses to drop.
Utility car taking the field.
I need to throw that grenade earlier. That could have made a difference. Fortunately, he's out in the open now, outnumbered. Really needs some cover. I wonder if maybe he could have jumped in the sniper's nest. Don't see that used too often, but it might have been a decent option here. I don't think you can deploy infiltration units from those sniper nests, by the way. Found that out the hard way. So these engagements are not going too well for Skadi across the battlefield. Generally outnumbered. Maybe the Kubel hasn't lived up to its potential. And if you're going for, 4 squads as well as the Kubel, you would hope to get more territory control than this. Takes a snare there, has to back out. The M20 is nearby. Did get a nice cut-off play though, at least. Mechanized for Skadi. M20's going to see this as it comes to try finish the job on the Kubel. Flak defenses are quite far back here. M20's going to go in. Does have the skirts operated. No. It's cold feet. Sees the Fausting squad there. Probably could have killed it and got away just fine. And he looks in the build now for Skadi. But, a little bit late starting this. By the time it hits the field, it's going to be about 8.5 minutes. Maybe about a minute late. But yeah, generally, the looks... It's just not that strong these days. I think it kind of needs a slightly faster build time. Gonna do some capping out the back. Trying to cap here would leave them quite exposed to the M20, but there's a lot of sight blockers around there, so trying to take advantage of that and do some capping in the corner. But the M20, it's the Sternpios. Sternpios trying to hide around the corner. They could have popped a Shrek, but haven't done that. He's a little bit low on munitions, using those med crates for healing. Some SCGs upgrading on one Volksgrenadier. Got a Steward in the build next, which is a good idea. Here comes the looks. M20 could be in some trouble here. Oh, the Faust actually came through. I didn't think that would get in range. It's going to be a clean kill on the M20. Recon support locked in. Might have just saved the Sternpios there. Swarm prioritized vehicles with this, deactivating it now. Got some STGs on these Volksgrenadiers. It's really helping out in this fight. Gotta be careful though, if he takes an anti-tank grenade, the Stuart, about to pop out, maybe could have come chase down and kill this. NM doesn't opt for that. I think I probably would have gone for a snare there. Crushing off that wire, it's a good move. Some wire on here as well, maybe they'll crush that next. And NM dropping in airdrop combat group. Oh, here we go. Faust should be able to connect. Slow down that Stuart. Give Skadi the time to react to the Stuart. Is he going to opt for a Puma? Or for the double lights, or is it going to be the Recon? Dropping all the way back here with this looks. Didn't need to come this far away. Looks like it's going to be the Puma. Yep. It's a pretty good map for the pack hour. You can sit around here. Didn't reinforce it up to full though. I think that's a mistake. Means one little harass, it's probably going to get decruised. Let's try to stall out behind the heavy cover. Okay, working up the north. Oh wow, we went for bazooka paratroopers. Don't see those too often. But they might actually work out quite well in this particular game, since Skadi has gone for the double lights. If Skadi had gone for the Recon instead, I'd say this will be overkill. And then terms of anti-tank for NM. And the Recon is an option. Especially if you go for a Panzer Shrek on your Sternpies, you should be able to keep your look safe against the Stuart without having to go for the Puma. Okay, there we go, Stuart. Oh boy, so that's not the best pathfinding. Doesn't pop the shell shock. Oh, there it goes now. Bazooka's coming in. Make sure he doesn't get snared and do Doing a good job of that so far. Here come the bazookas though. Having lead hard on approach. Get one shot off. Now full retreats for NM. Kind of needs some STGs or some bars to stop these guys from pushing forwards, but no, he's going to go for another light vehicle, the triple lights, the Greyhound, so this definitely makes the Puma the right choice. Looks like Skadi's forgotten about the Kugel. Luckily the Lieutenant hasn't been upgraded with the bazooka, that would have died for sure there. Looks coming down. Relatively safe while he knows the location of both the US light vehicles on the other side of the map. Lieutenant doing a good job hiding behind the bushes though. And Puma now doing a very good job zoning. Oh boy. Oh, I thought there would be a Faust coming in there. Must have just been out of range. Here come the bazookas now though. Oh, but the... How? I thought that was out of range for sure. Oh boy, that is not good for NM. Yeah, I don't know how the Puma got that shot off. Maybe that was an attack ground. Because remember, these days the Puma doesn't have full sight until Vet 2. So I don't think he had vision of the Stuart back there. I don't know. Maybe the Fox Trinities could still see it. Need a replay to really fully dissect how that happened, but either way, that's very good news for Skadi. Really, NM hasn't got a huge amount done with these light vehicles. He's lost 2 of them now. And, you know, the Greyhound, it goes okay, but it, you know, doesn't really have the high armor to shrug off the looks damage as well. Doesn't have the shell shock to stop the Puma just chasing in for the kill. Bazookas finding the angle here. Only one connecting again though. It's a problem with the 6-man squad like that, you know, oftentimes they're so spread out. Have some attack rounds there, but missing I think. Sometimes, you know, the bazookas are so far spread apart it can make it hard to right-click targets. Popping smoke, chasing through. Oh, no munitions for NM, but still could get the kill on the Puma here. Is going to, but going to trade the Greyhound for it. Ouch. Maybe had the option there of trying to pop the Greyhound's crew out at the last second. Okay, gonna go for another Greyhound now. Not letting up on the pressure. We've seen this kind of tactic in the past. But NM's gonna... Oh boy. Gonna need to make sure this Greyhound actually does some major work. Looks... chasing in. Deciding to disengage though. I forget how much penetration the Greyhound's gun has. I think it's less than the Stuart as well. I think it's about 10 less at each range. Might even be worse than that. Manages to knock out the Kubel though. Greyhound does have very strong vision. So you can see exactly what's happening. And oh boy, Skadi later on the retreats. Not going to get punished for it though. Greyhound doesn't hit too much. Coming into the center now. I thought maybe you'd just leave like one squad out there to the side capping. Jumps back in to try and assist with this fight. NM really struggling for munitions. Maybe could have thrown a grenade there otherwise. Sandbags do disappear though. Has upgraded the repair station now. MG suppressing, but squad's getting around the corner. Another squad coming in from this angle. MG getting overwhelmed. Has to retreat. But remember, these riflemen never upgraded. So now up against the STG Volksgrenadiers, is starting to struggle. As typically one of the issues with this commander, can struggle to get those weapon rack upgrades. So much elsewhere to spend your munitions on. Typically you can make up for that with the light vehicle pressure, but hasn't really been the case so far for NM. Capping down the bottom now with the rear echelon. Not going to last long though. Comes the looks. Got the tech truck for Skadi about to be plopped down. Still has every commander as an option. Bazookas coming down. Do have the option of planting mines with these bazooka paratroopers, which can be pretty handy.
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points.
Also have the option of camouflaging as well. Great hit from the pack howie there. That's about to be harassed though by the Stewart. Here come the bazookas though. This could be an encirclement move here against the Looks. Looks driving to the north away from the bazookas. Greyhound coming in from the other side. Trying to stay out of Fausting range though with the Greyhound. The bazookas, why are they going this way? If they came through the center, that would have been a dead Looks. Massive misplay there from NM. Because remember, those bazookas, they do extra damage. 100 damage each. You can see the Looks, I think, exactly on half health. Would have died there to two bazookas. Probably not regular bazookas, but to the paratrooper elite bazookas. So that's a real shame. That's what NM kind of needed. Oh, but look at that. Uses the canister rounds. Canister shot. Big damage. Gets the decrew. Kind of right on the edge of the flak base though. Might make it difficult to steal this. Not able to do so. And the bazookas there as well. Just has to back off. Great steal there. That's exactly what NM needed. Because he's going to be way behind in the race to the medium tank. But not anymore. Look at the steal on that machine gun. It's actually going to be quite even. Just crazy, right? So NM went for 2 extra light vehicles, was it? We have a Recon now for Skadi. I think that's a very good choice. Going to need it for the medium tanks anyway. It's going to help you out a lot against the Greyhound as well. With the Greyhound hitting Vet 3 now. Greyhound, you can see its sights, can see this Recon coming a mile off. And it makes it very difficult to position against the Greyhound. Looks coming in, rear armor of the Greyhound exposed here. But the bazooka's there as well. Should be alright as long as he doesn't take an anti-tank grenade. Bazooka's very slow to fire. Don't get any damage done at all there. And a good time to harass the cutoff as well, as NM is getting close to that medium tank timing.
We're losing a capture point.
But now NM kind of looks like a much larger army. Able to squeeze in some paratroopers, got the pack howie and the machine gun, as well as, you know, the major good capping squad. So it'll be difficult. And that's a great shot from the pack howie. You retreat there. Is Vet 4? I think Vet 4 is when they get their healing, right? No, it's Vet 5, okay. Force the sight range. So yeah, it was probably the right choice to retreat there, especially with the Greyhound coming in hot. Oh, good shot from the Recon. Survived a second hit anyway. Oh, that was a little reckless. Looks taking some big damage. So he's going to jump into the building with the Recon, waiting for STG folks to do their trick, but faced the wrong direction initially, so it looks like he's going to jump out of the building straight away without trying to fire off a shot. And now retreating great grenades from the paratroopers. Here comes some oversoldaten though. This could start to turn things around. NM, you know, no bars to help fight back. Only one machine gun. So these Obers, you know, oftentimes they're coming in against Vet 2, Vet 3 double bar riflemen, but not the case this time. They should have a pretty easy start to the match comparatively. And a Sherman in the build. Skadi also with the Panzer IV in construction. Very even timings for the medium tanks. Looks getting some massive damage done there. Forces a retreat, opens up the capture. You see Skadi is quite far behind on the victory points. To get forced away. That Thompson working very well for the lieutenant. Seems like maybe NM trying to bait the looks in for that Sherman's arrival. The Sherman left in base for a touch. If he ran it straight out here, could have done some major damage. And oh boy, here we go. Snare coming in, but the Sherman's still in base. This could have been a looks kill if the Sherman just ran straight out here. Real shame from NM not to take advantage of that. And now the Panzer IV arriving, making it safe. Got the Recon in there as well. Bazookas coming in. We'll go for some attack grounds, but they both collide. Sherman is on armor piercing. He's trying to set up the machine gun facing this direction, but unprepared on the Volkskrieges in the north. It's the D crew, the Recon going back in, the Greyhound as well. Jumping on it, trying to get away with that. Still taking some flame damage. Gonna drop down the cluster bombs just to try and escape with this machine gun. Risky stuff. Maybe a misclick trying to do that. Oh boy! They're away just to the north. Took some damage, but not a clean connection. But it does work out for NM. Does allow machine gun to be recovered. So even though it didn't get a wipe, he's got to be pretty happy about that. Panzer IV getting aggressive now. Taking advantage of the Sherman not being at full strength. Still has to contend with those bazooka paras. Oh no! Ouch. I think there was 3, well, it looks like 4 models of free echelon just dead straight away. Don't think it was at full strength, but it's a nasty shot from the Panzer IV. Those were his sweepers as well. And I don't think we've seen any mines planted from NM so far. Has been using his munitions though. Haven't seen like an excess in spite of having no commander. 5 on the looks by the way, but only 7 kills. There seems to be a bit of an issue with the looks. You know, it spreads its damage amongst the entire squad. Tends not to get model wipes as good as a lot of the other light vehicles. Greyhound looks like he's swapped the crews. Sherman in there. Oh, and there we go. Panzer 2 goes down.
Point is being overrun.
Panzer 4 maybe having his vision blocked by the smoke partially. Looks like the turret's not firing here. Still on prioritized vehicles as well. There's a grenade. Oh, that's a US rifleman grenade. But the Panzer 4 coming back in. Hits Vet 1 now as well. Pops the blitz. Misses that shot. Oh no. Oh, gets the kill though. And loses his Panzer 4 in return. But yeah, I saw there was, I think it was 23 kills on the Greyhound. That was a rebuilt Greyhound. Came in much later than the looks. Compared to 7 or maybe it was 8 kills right at the end there for the looks. But as I was saying, that's the issue with the looks. Doesn't have that reliable model bleed. You kind of need infantry there as well to help you out in that regard. And by the same token, you know, STG Folks also kind of don't have that burst damage, kind of got that consistent damage. So, you know, you can get a lot of territory with the looks, but oftentimes... Oh, no! Clumped up on cover.
A capture point
Light
is
cover.
under attack.
Does the lieutenant get a grenade range? Doesn't look like it. Riflemen, no, they do.
Tank support is here.
Skadi, what is this? Did you just go AFK? What the hell, man?
Capture point.
Just completely throwing that Volksgrenadier away.
Lost a unit.
Major though, thrown by NM.
Supply line just got cut off.
Grenades. Got a phosphorus coming out though. That's going to probably allow the machine gun to survive. Wow, great phosphorus. Second Recon now for Skadi. Looks like Skadi maybe think about digging in for the Tiger here. By going for that second Recon. NM not hanging about, going for the Sherman. Getting some great hits to start off with as well. Now Skadi is really lacking infantry with those 2 Volksgrenadier losses. I can kind of understand this one. But this one, that was unacceptable. So long after the grenades, you know, still had 2 models. Maybe about 8 seconds or so to start the retreat.
Armor here.
Sherman rolling up, looking for the overs. And the issue is, sometimes when you go for these kind of stalls, you can end up losing a lot of ground. Does have the flak base in quite an aggressive position covering this, but maybe could drop some Sherman smoke down here to get the decap on the fuel. Could be an option. This would be a good time. Oh, okay, he's equipping bazookas on the lieutenant. That's interesting. The lieutenant does get a reload bonus, which is not usual for infantry, so that does carry over to the bazookas. Makes the lieutenant kind of good at carrying bazookas. Also doesn't have an anti-tank grenade, so good DPS, but maybe unlikely to get kills. Incendiary rounds activated. Skadi actually going for a second squad of ogres, which I'm not too sure about. Going to be lacking snares, but there we go. They've overwhelmed the machine gun. NM trying to hold on to this. Perhaps touch on the reckless side. But a grenade from the paratroopers through the sight blocker. Oh boy, this is trouble for the Sherman, trying to get around the side of these Raketans. He's trying to smoke. He's trying to smoke the Raketans instead of just driving. Oh my god. You can see he stopped. You know, it doesn't matter how fast you are with the smoke, you're going to get that short stutter when trying to go for those smoke plays. And that was a situation where you just could not afford that stutter. Okay, well that just lets Skadi right back into this match. Oh no, and what's he doing? He's trying to repair the Greyhound. But now it's under Recon fire.
Transport is here. Sherman ready.
Massive toss here from NM. One of the biggest throws I've seen. Probably in the last 2 months, I would say. Probably the biggest toss I've seen in the last 2 months. Not, you know, I personally, my own games, I've probably tossed harder than this. But in terms of replays that I've covered. Gonna swap in the crew again. Get a bit of vet on the Sherman to start things off. But now has to fight against the Ace. Doesn't have the captain yet, so can't build an anti-tank gun. Probably should be expecting the a Tiger or King Tiger, because hasn't seen a tank for so long. Looks like NM building a machine gun. But really, I think the response here should be captain into anti-tank gun. Still quite a lot of fuel away from a Jackson. Trying to fight this with just one squad of bazookas here. I lost the lieutenant. It's not going to work. There we go, big shot in there. Bazookas both bouncing. Trying to hang around for a second volley. No, trying to hang around for a grenade. Not enough damage though for the snare. Bring the Sherman up on the front lines, which is okay. 100 VPs left for NM, so maybe that was his play with the machine guns. He's going to try go for the VP drain. 100 points though, it's quite a lot of time. Skadi not making a break for either of the other 2 victory points. So going to be on the drain for quite a lot longer yet. And the phosphorus working well through the center. There's a great hits in. This might actually be enough for a snare. Doesn't go for it, strangely. Sitting in front of the Tiger, getting blasted right now. We'll speed on the repairs there. NM doesn't really have a great squad to equip more bazookas with either. Might have to equip one of these riflemen with some bazookas. Getting closer to that Jackson now with this Tiger getting to work. Doing big damage again and again. Still just leaving this on prioritized vehicles, which I'm not a big fan of. Just requiring more micro here. Here we go, Sherman coming around the corner. Is it going to be enough for the snare? It is. Sherman pesky. Not very effective. And Skadi does finally cap on the edges. In fact, this machine gun quite far back might end up losing this because of how this sets up in the heavy cover. A grenade! Oh, and the Volksgrenadiers go down. Okay, it's what NM needed. The Kitten here as well under fire. No reaction very late from Skadi. Gonna get away with it though. Obe is coming in now, and that is a forced retreat. Doesn't have the munitions for any upgrades on that second squad of Obers though. Kind of close to the mechanized truck. I think I'll be backing the Tiger towards it. Don't have to go too far before they auto run up there. And oh, you still got 3 VPs under your control. Pretty safe for the Tiger to pull back a touch. Got NM right there. Can start the Jackson finally. Sternpost coming up now. Does have the sweepers, so it does have the faster repair times. Sherman also back up to full strength. It doesn't go for the 5 EP, that's interesting. Sherman stuffed immediately, and very slow reactions to NM in the centre. It could actually cost him his paratroopers. Get 2 obers, they got that accuracy bonus. So slow. That was such a slow reaction. He just ran all the way in here before shooting. And that Tiger is taking no prisoners. Obers pick up the bazooka now. Not really the best for them, but does deny it to NM at least, who probably would want it, especially on maybe like the vehicle crew, the extra one. This is complete garbage at this stage. Useful for repairs. They're trying to maintain this field presence, NM. Before the Jackson arrives, it's alright to just take a backward step when you have so many VPs. Try and avoid this manpower bleed. Wait for that Jackson before you really kick off again. Because this Tiger, big damage in the meantime. 14 kills already. Oh, and that could be a D-crew. Fit 5 Sternpost. That's big damage. Now it's going to be very hard, the stolen 50, for NM to get territory going. Seems to really be hurting on the munitions side of things. So it can't drop down some cluster bombs to make a breakthrough. Now Skadi getting a second tank. Panzer IV still got the double Raketens as well. NM doesn't have anything that's really providing vision. They lost that major, so doesn't have that vetted major vision to help spot for the Tiger to allow this Jackson to be effective. Doesn't have the paratroopers anymore. They could be sitting around in camouflage providing vision, waiting for an ambush. This is going to be very hard for NM. There's a grenade, but easy dodge there. Sherman is nearby though, could come in to assist. Tiger had the mechanized truck for repairs at this stage. Oh, an armor piercing though, and this rifle squad's going down fast. Does force the retreat though. They set up here in the center, not at full strength on that 50, didn't wait for full reinforce, and that could actually cost him here. Light cover stopping the obers from getting suppressed, and they end up getting the D-crew there. Sherman taking some big hits as well, and just stopped here instead of continuing to back away. Massive misplay from NM. Jackson coming down now, but getting in sight range. Very bad pathfinding, getting blocked by the wreck. The turret facing the wrong direction. Now the Panzer IV and Tiger are coming in hot. Yeah, I think he's quit. I think NM is quit and gone AFK, right? Yeah. After he lost that Sherman, just left the game. So it was a pretty interesting early game with the Lux Puma versus the Stuart Greyhound spam. You don't see that too often. Not many players going for mechanized these days. But it was looking so promising for NM. Control really let down at the end, throwing away that Greyhound. Just making so many misplays in the later stages. But Skadi was there for them. Able to capitalize. I think overall the stall for the Tiger did work out very well. Instead of going for another Panzer IV, NM couldn't really apply enough pressure to punish during that phase. I think the Ford Schwer really helped lock down this fuel. That was quite strong. Do have to worry about getting pushed, but maybe not in this exact circumstance, because NM never decided to go for an officer into a T-gun. like a double AT gun could have helped out a lot. Stopped so much bleed, really helped the stall for the Jackson. Could have helped, you know, make that go a lot smoother. Stop the Tiger from completely ravaging his forces in the meantime, give him an extra squad to cap, and he was starting to get low on infantry during these later stages, especially after he threw away those paratroopers in the center. But yeah, well played by Skadi, hanging tough there. Can be very difficult to handle this style. You know, they get this recon support, gets such a big power spike around the time of the airdrop combat group in the Greyhound. Can be difficult to hold off. And there's some pretty good pack hour usage throughout the match from NM, but wasn't enough to win. Well, anyway, guys, wrap on that. If you like your game to be cast by me, details are in the video description below. Otherwise, I'll catch you all for the next thrilling installment. Goodbye, and good luck.